God loved the Israelite people. The Israelites' sin led them to 400 years in slavery. But when they cried out to God for help, God sent Moses and Aaron with a message for Pharaoh: "Let my people go," and God would save his people. Pharaoh and the Egyptians worshipped fake gods of the river, plants, animals, the sun, and many more. They did not know God. Pharaoh said, "Who is this Lord, and why should I let the Israelites go? I do not know God. Why should I let the Israelites go?" God sent 10 plagues on Egypt to show his power and that he is the only true God. And the Israelites were unaffected by any of the plagues. Each time God's message was, "Let my people go." But each time Pharaoh would agree, and when God stopped, Pharaoh would change his mind. First, God turned all the water to blood. There was nothing for them to drink for 7 days. And God said, "By this you will know that I am God." God then sent frogs, and they were everywhere. Pharaoh got his magicians to make frogs come too, but they couldn't make them go away. By this they would know that there is no one like the Lord our God. Pharaoh pleaded for God to take the frogs away. Next, God turned the dust to gnats. They are like mosquitoes. They swarm and they bite you and make you itchy all over. Pharaoh's magicians tried to do this too, to prove that they were also powerful, but they couldn't. They said, "This is the finger of God." God sent swarms of flies. Still, Pharaoh did not listen to God's warning. God told Pharaoh to go check on all of the Egyptians' animals. They were sick and dying. Pharaoh investigated and found that not even one of the animals of the Israelites had died. Yet his heart was unyielding and would not let the people go. God then instructed Moses to toss soot, or ash, from the fire into the air. When it landed on the Egyptians, they were covered with boils and sores. God reminded Pharaoh that he could have wiped them out, but he said, "But I have spared you for a purpose, to show you my power and to spread my fame throughout the earth." Pharaoh still did not listen to God's warning. God sent a huge hailstorm. God protected the Israelites, and no hail fell on their land. God sent locusts to destroy everything that was left. The Egyptians begged Pharaoh, saying, "Let the men go to worship the Lord their God. Don't you realize that Egypt lies in ruins?" Again, Pharaoh begged God for forgiveness, but once the locusts left, he changed his mind. God then brought darkness over Egypt. Only where the Israelites lived was there light. Pharaoh tried to bargain, saying they could leave if they left the animals that they used to worship God behind. Pharaoh was furious when Moses said no. God knew all along that the final plague would set them free, but he used all these other plagues to show that he was the one and the only true God. He was the only one who had the power to save them. The final plague was the death of every firstborn son. The Israelites obeyed God and put the blood of a perfect lamb on their doorposts, and their families were safe. Finally, Pharaoh saw that God really is the only true God, and he let the Israelites go. God saved his people.